Welcome to another episode of Political Verdict, your number one podcast by Anambra News.ng. I am Unyuye. On our topic for today, we'll be analyzing Governor Soludo's 3 year in office, his achievements, his next plans, and also his landmark projects. With me in the studio today, I have my co-host.
Mr. Ali Timothy, thank you for having me.
Okay, and we would right about now we are going to have a critical analysis of Governor Soludo's 3 year in office, discussing so far what he has achieved, his next plans for Anambra State, and also his landmark projects. A critical review of Governor Chukwuma Soludo's 3 years in office. First off, we shall have a brief overview of Governor Soludo. Governor Charles Soludo is the current governor of Anambra State. He came into power in March 17th, 2022, after he was declared winner of the election as the governorship candidate for the All Progressive Grand Alliance Party, ABGA, in November 9th, 2021, and also the fifth governor of Anambra State. Governor Soludo is a Nigerian politician, banker, economist, and professor. He is the former governor and chairman of the board of directors of the Central Bank of Nigeria, that's the CBN. He was appointed as the governor of CBN on May 29, 2004, during President Olusegun Obasanjo's regime. He holds the title of the third highest national honor commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, that's the CFR. Let's delve into his personal life. He was born in the family of Pa Simeon Soludo in Isuofia town in Agwata, Anambra State. Unfortunately, he lost his mother, Mrs. Mbafo, during the Nigerian Civil War when he was just 8 years old. He got his early education in the neighboring town. He attended Uga Boys High School and got the post of a senior prefect. In 1984, he then proceeded to the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN, in Enugu State and attained a first-class honors in economics. Still in the quest to boost his education, he continued in UNN and received his master's degree in 1987 and his doctorate degree in 1989, graduating as the best student in all three levels. He was then appointed a professor of economics at UNN in 1998. We're going to then access the three aspects of his 3 years in office, namely his achievements, that is solution delivered, the next step, that's road ahead, and also his landmark projects, that's his exceptional projects. In today's episode, we shall discuss his achievements, that is the solution delivered. Firstly, let's look at the educational sector in Anambra State. There is now free education in all public primary and secondary schools, leading to increased enrollment. Primary school by 27.05% and secondary school by 10.36%, and a subsidy for mission schools. Lowest out of school children rate in Nigeria is 2.9% by UNESCO 2024. He renovated 117 schools and upgrading 22 schools to smart schools. Recruitment of 8,115 teachers through a transparent and competitive process to end the era of schools without teachers. Secondly, in the aspect of security, the Homeland Security Law that was enacted, the Agune Chamber Security Outfit, which was established with a technology-driven surveillance, the cleansing of the state of criminal native doctors, fake pastors, and wrong ideologies that fuel criminality. Thirdly, the government's administrative structures and facilities that has been constructed. We talk about the new government house / the secretariat, the governor's lodge, deputy governor's complex, a 1,000-seater amphitheater, a 1,000-seater banquet hall, a presidential lodge, the State House Hospital, 28 other ancillary buildings. Now, let's move into the health sector. He modernized 326 primary health centers, built and equipped 5 brand new general hospitals, 4 has been completed and 1 is still ongoing. He upgraded 3 general hospitals, building a world-class trauma center with massive deployment of technology in telemedicine located at Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu University Teaching Hospital, Oka. And there has been the employment of over 1,000 health workers consisting of consultants, nurses, and the likes. There's also been free antenatal and free delivery, benefiting over 102 603 women, including free 344 cesarean sections, as the CS. There's introduced Healthy Living Initiative. Example, we have the Healthy Living with Nonye, that's why Soludo, Nonye Soludo. More so in the labor sector, specifically the civil service, he has been able to clear 4 years gratuity for the state civil service. For the local government, cleared up the pension backlog up to 2020. Retirees from 2022 are being paid their pension and gratuity promptly. Swiftly implemented a minimum wage of 82,000 and 10,000 increase to all pensioners in 2024. Also increased the salary of all civil servants by 10% in 2023. He's provided a non-taxable cash award of 10,000 for all civil servants in 2024. What about social amenities and infrastructure? There's been the provision of potable water as a social good. The rehabilitation of 5 large urban water schemes, that is in Oka, Otuocha, Nnewi, Obizi, and Greater Onitsha. The provision of 15 small town water schemes and 109 rural water and schemes. The Solution Fund City, Oka as the West, Africa's largest leisure destination, construction and the maintenance of several roads across the state. A 746 kilometer of new roads awarded and 462 kilometer asphalted with stone base and drainage. There's also been 648 kilometer of roads made motorable under the Zero Pothole program. The construction of bridges and flyovers. 7 bridges awarded, including 2 iconic flyovers. 11.8 kilometers of erosion control. Okpoko, from slums to new heaven. Good road network, electricity and pipe-borne water can now be seen in Okpoko. Regeneration of Onitsha, Ekulobia, Nnewi. Also the emerging of new Oka City, the Oka Township Stadium, malls and bridges, etc. New electricity law and policy designated to create a competitive electricity market. The extension of 33 kV lines to 7 communities. Adoption of cleaner energy. 30,000 solar-powered streetlights. 406 units of solar home systems, inverter systems, ranging from 5 kVA to 400 kVA installed in some public offices, courts, PHC, the primary healthcare centers in every ward and in general hospitals. How about the economic transformation? In tech development, there's been an installation of 650 kilometers of fiber optic ducts completed, connecting 17 out of 21 LGAs to boost internet connectivity. Established a state-of-the-art SID Innovation Center in Oka and building the 13.7 Africa's Silicon Valley, the Solution Innovation District, that's the SID, trained over 30,000 youths in various digital skills, empowering them to succeed in the global digital economy. The 1U 2 Skills program. There's been the provision of Wi-Fi access to public institutions, including government offices, courts, state assembly, healthcare, tertiary institutions. In housing, 11 new modern housing estates are emerging. 17 new commissioner quarters have been completed, modernizing the markets and building new ones. Odribu, Onitsha, Ekulobia, Agolo, Oka, to take away street traders from more organized markets. Then 5 judges' quarters, courthouses that has been completed. Coming now to industrialization and commerce, creating an enabling business environment that is able to attract automobile manufacturers. We have the Alma Motors, then the new Oka shopping mall, modernizing existing markets and developing new ones.
that's the Oba Drug Market, is also set to become the biggest coordinated wholesale drug market in West Africa. In the solid minerals sector, he has been able to create a new kaolin plant at Upo, which will soon be commissioned. Then others include the digitalization of land administration, Anambra State Geographic Information System, ANAMGIS, the private C of O's from 6 months to 7 days. It's now quicker. We have, lastly, in the agricultural sector, there has been regenerative agriculture, farm to feeding, driving towards food security. Now, most of this he clearly stated and defined in his manifesto, the Soludo Solution, a people's manifesto for a greater Anambra. And yes, it's actually good to say that most of them have been achieved, and more are hopefully on the drawing boards towards achievements.
All right, moving right into Governor Soludo's 3 year in office. So far, let's generally overview his let's say his achievements, because today's topic we are analyzing his achievements. So there has been so much infrastructural development here and there. There has been so much projects springing up and are still springing up by the day. What can we say generally about this development? Are Indian Anambra happy about it? Is it something that we are comfortable with? Is it something we are expecting more of, or there are some areas that needs to be stopped, or there are some areas that the Anambra are not happy about? What can we say about the general overview of this his achievements?
Thank you. Um, Fundamentally, I would say that is something I used to say about leadership. You will not know the relevance of a good leader until you have a bad one. So, in Anambra State, now under the leadership of Soludo, I would generally say that Anambra is in the right hand, because you we almost in most a lot of things that are happening, as small as pothole can be seen as a small project or a small problem, but it's a big one. And when you go around the city, especially in Oka, you can see that it's a zero, almost a zero pothole. Even though we still see that some of those ones that have that were repaired some time ago have started being an issue again. But I recall some time ago when you are traveling from one part of Oka to other, you will be held up at one point or other because of the potholes. But now it really happened. If you experience a hold up, it is maybe because of carelessness of the drivers. So I'm just citing this because as small as such pothole could be a small issue, it could be a big one. But in Oka today, we are seeing zero. We are not seeing much of such traffic problem arising from potholes. So you that is as small as that can be. Then you see other things around Oka. Almost every part of Anambra you go, you can feel government working. You can feel that government is in place. Look at the government house. That in the past I thought that it is under and under the people they have issue with consulting it, but it was like one of the Soludo's earliest projects. If you go there now, it will be asking yourself, are we still in Nigeria? Because of the work going on there. For some time now, work has been going on there, you know. So you talk about the education sector. We as Soludo offer the free education to up to secondary school level, from primary to secondary school level. I'm telling you, especially now that parents find it difficult to take care of the families, such a project you won't see is a small project, not at all. Because there are many children could have millions of children that could have gone out of school if not for such free education that was offered from primary to secondary school level. So there's a wonderful Soludo is doing very well. It's doing well. But when you go around Oka, you see a lot of things happening in Oka, flyover, road maintenance, and the rest of them. So it is like Soludo is doing what others have not done. Of course, I will tell you, is doing great. I would say Anambra is in the right hand. Thank you.
Yes, very much. I would also say that too. That Anambra so far we can say is in the right hands. And one thing I like about this government and the governor particularly is that most of these things are things that he listed out in his manifesto, and those things are coming to reality. Those things he's achieving them one after the other. It's a good thing that this is a government that says and does, quite unlike some certain political settings or some politicians that will say a lot, give a lot of promises during their campaigns just to get into that seat. And at the end of the day, we are looking for we're looking for like one or two projects that the person was able to achieve. But look at Governor Soludo's administration. There are countless projects that has been done and are still springing up every day. It's a wonderful thing for Anambra, I can really say. All right. So I would also like to say so far we see that Governor Soludo has been able to achieve a lot, comparing to other previous governors, comparing to his predecessors. What can we say that he's doing different? What can we say that he is not, maybe he has done that others were not able to do, or that what strategy can we say he's using that others were not able to apply to their government? Because we can see that he has achieved the whole lot. Just within 3 years, there's a lot of achievements. What can we say about that?
If you say that Soludo has, if you are comparing Soludo to the previous administrations, I would say I'm not there with you because I don't know the yardstick. I don't know the basis with which you are used to measure whether Soludo has to surpass what the previous administration has done. But one thing I know very well is that he came at a point and he's doing great at that point. That is one thing I would say. And no matter what we say that Soludo actually has achieved, it is Soludo that actually know whether he has achieved what he had in mind. But thank God you say that most of the thing he has done is part of his manifesto. So we can say actually we can join him to say he's doing well, But then at this point I will still want to say that what Soludo is doing is he just actually doing the right thing at the right time. This is his tenure, this is his time, and I will tell you that Soludo is doing great. Thank you.
Okay, from my own point of view, I would like to say that I feel that something he's doing different that other governors have not done before is this his introduction of the tax system, which he's using to fund most of this project. Because so far he is boasting that his government has not borrowed a single dime. So that is something I feel that has been working for him and still keeps on working for him. Then yeah, talking about that taxation system, do we think that this tax would help to sustain this project in future times coming? Because so far he has achieved a lot and there is still so much to be achieved. There's still a whole lot to be achieved. Do we think that this tax system can be able to sustain this project, or with time he might actually go into borrowing? What can we say about that generally?
Yeah, talking specifically about tax, just as I said earlier, that I don't know the yardstick with which you are using to compare. You may agree that maybe the previous governments that were in power, government is in continuity. The previous governments that came in, there is a progress. They may not have found it needful to start imposing tax on the people when they have not worked at all. But now today, Soludo of course came and introduced this tax system. That actually the people were like, this man has, change is not easy. Change is not easy to come by. Change people expressing change is not easy. But we people have come to see that actually the tax is actually yielding results, and they have changed from complaining to actually praising Soludo. So the tax system, if I would say, is sustainable, because one of the things that make government ask for more, apart from that they need more to do more, is when the government is wasteful. When the government is wasteful, or when the government is not closing the loophole that the money is leaking away from, even without their knowing. So I believe that Soludo, his knowledge of economics and the rest of them, he must have closed all those loopholes, and also, and also, he's not wasteful too. So with that, I think, and again, he has not complained. He hasn't complained. He hasn't said that there's need for him to borrow. It means that so far, so good, the task is sustainable, and we hope that it continues that way. Thank you.
Okay, yes, yes, I support that. I actually support that because so far this tax system has been working seriously for him. Yes, initially in the Anambra they complained a lot because it was something new they have not been experiencing before, and coupled with the fact that the management of the tax system were not really carrying out their activities in line with the directives from the government. Some of them ended up harassing some individuals and the rest. But in time, India Anambra have seen the positives that are coming out of this payment of tax. And the common man now you might meet on the street will be happy to pay his tax because he's seen that the tax money works, the tax money is being used and managed properly. So I also feel that in due time that this is a system that will be continued and is a system that will be sustainable in helping to develop this project. All right. Lastly, let's talk about, we know that the coming elections are around the corner and there is a lot of competitions. But so far, his 3 years in office, he's been a lot of achievement, a lot of smiles on a lot of faces. Can we say that with most of this might be a huge yardstick for Soludo to come back a second time? Can we say that the people will be happy to bring him in a second time? Or there are some areas that needs to be adjusted. There are some areas he needs to work on. Or maybe there are some parts of Anambra that are not really happy with his administration. What can we really say about that? About this?
People may have reason for whoever they want to vote or whoever they want to be the next governor of Anambra State. But at least there are different kind of individuals. There are people that they are satisfied with what they are seeing, but there are still people that maybe people, let me call it the people of higher intelligence or intellect, people who understand that this is not what actually is not all that is expected. Especially when you know that Soludo told us that he want to make Anambra, Dubai, Taiwan. So a local person will say, this man is coming from the fact that a lot of things were wrong before, and they will say he had done well. But another person will tell you, no, this is not how Taiwan Dubai is, and may not actually agree that Soludo is already there. So then you look at other things like even all some of the programs he has put in place. You can agree with me that some people may not, is what is favoring certain people may be disfavorable to others. So there are many reasons for which people can say Soludo is coming back, and others may say Soludo is not coming back. Remember, let me give an instance. Soludo told us that the even on the signboard when you go around on the road, he's consulting. Sorry, I keep saying Soludo. I should be adding His Excellency. Governor Soludo. Yeah, he deserves it because that is what he is. I'm sorry about that. So you see that on the signboard, I saw somebody is bold written that the road is supposed to last for 20 years. It's 20 years guarantee. I want to believe that. Well, but I know that in 20 years' time, Soludo may not be there. So I believe, in as much as that is what is in signatory, that the road should be considered in such a way that it lasts for 20 years. I would also want to encourage the governor to make sure that he set up a high-level panel or committee, people that are knowledgeable in engineering, who will ensure that what he is expecting from these people are actually what is being carried out. Don't forget, Nigerians, as far as corruption is concerned, they fear nobody. They don't even fear God. So when somebody can tell you that the road is going to last for 50 years, but do it in such a way that it will just go beyond your tenure. It's something like 10 years, So then you won't be around then. So I encourage him to make sure that he should remember that he's working with people, he's working with Nigerian, and make sure that he follow up with a high knowledgeable sort of panel or committee or engineers that make sure that he dream of making Anambra Road last for 20 years is what he got at the end of the day. Thank you.
Yes, of course, there's a need to ensure that these projects are things that will last the test of time, like he says. Then I believe that in some areas, yes, a lot of people, the layman on the streets will be all smiles that Soludo is walking, Soludo is improving the environment, Soludo has done this and that in our locality and here and there. But to some other group of people, they are actually not happy with some aspects of his administration, like talking about the issue of the ATMA officials, the issue of waste management, and in so many other areas. We can see that his administration has not really done much about harnessing the excesses of those officials. And then also talking about the waste management in Anambra State. Anambra is not yet that Taiwan Dubai, like he says. Yes, he's trying to make it that Taiwan Dubai, but we still walk on the streets, we still find the streets filtered with debt. What is he doing in that area? How are they educating people about keeping Anambra clean? How are they enforcing laws to ensure that Anambra is truly clean? There are so many areas that he is leaving unattended to. There are so many areas that he has not really touched. He has not really gone in depthly to be able to solve the particular problem in those areas. And I feel it will be biting hard on those people in those particular areas, and they will not be happy that he has not touched those areas.
Yes, His Excellency Governor Soludo is not God, and we must agree that he cannot do everything at the same time. He still have 1 year to go, and probably by God's grace, he still have another 4 years added to the 1 year. So, but then it's important to make it clear that even there is still much is still desired from most of the impact he's making already. For instance, the water scheme, from the best of my knowledge, is not still running 247. It's not still running all around the clock. And that what that means is that the people cannot beat their chest and say we can depend on this water. They still look for alternative way of getting water. So if the government can scale up the supply so that it can be running 24 or at all time, that will be a good one. And also the education that he offered free up to secondary school level. I don't know, but then I must suggest to the government that they should look at a means where they would encourage those schools. One thing about our people is that sometimes we don't like something that is free. And we believe that anything that is free don't have value. And that is just one thing about our people. And that is why many people even suffer, even in the midst of free education, they still suffer to take their kids to private school that is charging them very high. But I want to believe that some of the things that they can do in that school sector is to come up with encouragement system, like they can increase, they can create a means whereby these schools go to competition, inter school competition, even up to school, state level. And it is well known that it is established that people who are coming out some outstanding will be given like more scholarship to study in the university, or even cash award, or what different award. It will actually make people see that in addition to the free education, that the public primary and secondary school is worth attending. And I must also add again, I must also add that government should also set up a feedback mechanism, a system whereby they can get feedback from the masses. Because just as we talk about the atma, their behavior, and even some of the revenue collection agencies, their agents, the way the approach to the people, the way they sometimes they don't market the government very well. I must tell you, they don't market the government very well. So, but if these people knew from beginning that there's a way that government will get to know how they work, that how they're doing their work, that they can be held accountable for how they do their work, how they carry out their duties. They won't do such things. So I encourage the government to set up a feedback mechanism whereby they can hear from the public their views on the policy that government is implementing, and also how the agents of government are doing things. Thank you very much.
Yes, of course, I support all that you have said because most of these things that have been established, just like the water system, the main aim of establishing that water scheme is to solve the issue of lack of water and to always have water. But when you have shortage of water, probably today water is running, tomorrow water is not running, then the issue at hand has not been properly addressed. Then coming to our schools, talking about the public schools and the free education system. Till date, we cannot say that the public schools can stand out to the level of learning, the level of intellectuality that the private schools, the missionary schools have. I don't know if it's coming from the angle of their teachers, if there needs to be more training on the side of their teachers, because probably the knowledge that is being impacted is not well enough to carry these children to greater heights. We don't yet see these public schools in competitions, like you said. We don't see them winning awards. We don't see them winning scholarships. And so there's still a whole lot to be done in these public schools, because I met somebody on the streets the other day, and she was saying that she cannot put her child in a public school because she doesn't like the way they go about their learning. She doesn't like the way they look, that most of these kids look tattered, most of these kids look unkept, most of these kids. So that's not telling good on the government. One thing is to bring free education, and the other thing is to ensure that other things apart from that free education also contribute to ensuring that the school, the level of productivity in the school is well enough to make the school stand out in Anambra State. Then coming down to the issue of we know that tertiary institutions now, the state tertiary institutions now are crying a lot about the increment of fees. Is There's a need for the government to also look into that area? Why can't maybe a subsidy scheme be initiated? Maybe a subsidy scheme be added to this to be able to relieve the pains of the students or the parents that are paying for these fees for the state schools. Government really needs to look into those areas, because it's almost like people in the state schools now are paying like they are in private schools. So what's not the essence of going to state schools when you be in a state school and then you feel like your fees is like that of private schools? So the government needs to look into that too. And in so many other areas that have not really felt the government presence, and so many people are complaining, like you said, they should ensure that there is a means for them to be having feedback from the public. That is very, very essential, because that will help to even fast track their work. There are some areas that they might feel that they are doing well. There are some areas that they are not doing well, which they don't know about. And it's only when they get feedback from the citizens that's in the Anambra, that they'll be able to understand that, okay, this area is lacking, this area is having too much push or too much let's say I'm concentrating more on this area than in other areas. So it's through all of this feedback from the public that they will be able to work better. Sadly, this is where we will come to the end of today's episode, and in our next episode we'll be discussing about the next steps, that is the road ahead for the governor in the coming years and what he'll be able to achieve in coming times. We would like you to follow us on all our social media handles. On YouTube, it's Political Verdict. Search for us, follow us, subscribe, like, comment, and ensure that you share our content. For now, we're saying bye from here.